Spike, what a sight this is. I guess there's something special going on then.
Why does it have to be something special when I'm here at the start of a sketch?
'Cause usually you're not. That's how it works with guest stars. Now get on with it.
Okay. I mean, you're right, of course. I'm here because I wanted to remind you all that it was my birthday this week. Wednesday, to be precise, December 10th.
Oh, was it? I mean, of course it was. Being the good friend I am, I know all the birthdays of every pony I care about.
So just your own, then?
Yes, only that one.
I remembered, actually. But since this is the first time we met this week, I haven't had the chance to congratulate you yet. Or sing you a song. Hey, we can do that now, can we? How about it, Spike?
No, for the love of God, please no. They already had me live through that torture at work. Nearly ruined a fine birthday I had up until then. So many of my co-workers actually cared enough to wish me a happy birthday throughout their day, and one even made me a cupcake. But then when Mr. Boss got wind of what was going on, he demanded everyone partook in that tradition.
Okay. Apparently your boss is just called Mr. Boss. Creative.
I mean, seriously, not a single pony, dragon, or whatever the fuck likes that. Anyone who says otherwise is just lying, either to you or themselves. The only silver lining is that it wasn't just me suffering. It's hard to tell who's got it worse in that moment, the people forced to sing awkwardly, or the one forced to sit there just with a stilted smile and bear it. It's a real shame because I specifically tried to keep my birthday a secret from the higher-ups. I even went and erased it from my employee file.
A beginner. You made the mistake of showing up at work at all on your birthday. Every worker who knows what they're doing just takes a day off then.
Says the pony without a job.
So even I know that.
Yeah, you're right. That would have saved me a lot of awkwardness. Oh well, next year. Anyway, I should get going now. The journey to the Dragon Dance is gonna take a while, and I still need to pack my stuff.
The Dragon Dance? What are you going there for?
Oh, right, I guess I didn't mention it yet. This year I'm not gonna be in Ponyville for housewarming, because Amber invited me to the Feast of Fire. And I'm still gonna make efforts to make up for trying to overthrow her at Halilax's funeral.
Well, it's definitely a good sign that Ember invited you herself. Say, why didn't she ever before?
That's easy. First I was a simp creep for most of the time, then after that I was unemployed, and after that she had taken my dragon essence. This year's simply the first time when my presence won't bring shame to a court.
Let's not forget the part where you sold drugs to school folks. Your might have changed and all that, but some things last. I ain't ever letting that go.
Honey, you would mention that, AJ. That I actually had forgotten about. But really, that's where you draw the line? And what about that stallion I murdered, which I went to prison for?
Fuck that. Ponies die all the time in Equestria.
Especially this version of Equestria.
Okay, so I guess all that's left to say is, have fun, Spike. See you next year.
You too. Happy housewarming. Bye.
Now, Rainbow Dash, I've been meaning to ask you, but then that whole Spike intro bit happened. Wasn't the sketch actually supposed to be about your job situation? What became of that?
Oh, yeah, right. Well, when I had to accept that my plan to simply apply for retirement pay didn't work out. Apparently only soldiers who went on active duty get that. And me, I didn't even show up for most of the thrills. Plus, you gotta have served for at least 20 years, so I had to think of something else. First, I thought I could just do it like Spike and start working at the post office, 'cause I'm fast and shit. But since Spike does the entirety of letter sending by himself by now, all that's left for the others is packages. And no thanks, I don't feel like back pain. Next thing I thought was professional sports, but then again, that's far too irrelevant to make a stable living. Besides, I'm scared of needles.
Needles?
Yeah, for doping. Without that, you don't even need to worry about getting to the top because everyone's just gonna leave you behind. Well, yeah, there is truth in that. For a while, I just tried farming my fame from the show by starring at conventions and stuff. It did keep me afloat for some time, but I quickly had to give that up too.
Why's that? I can't imagine demand for meeting your idols ever gonna be low.
Yeah, no, it was the opposite actually that drove me away. I had to be reminded that we have one of the most artistic fandoms in existence. All those unwashed freaks approaching me and bombarding me with stupid questions and requests.
Oh yeah, let's all gang up on bronies a bit. That's always a fun time.
Yes, what a great idea! They are only the very people that made our show as successful as it was, as well as that they make up the entire viewer base of this channel.
Plus, picking on bronies is really not necessary. They have it hard enough as it is. Ever since the internet seemed to have conspired against them in the last couple years.
What do you mean?
Haven't you seen all those videos that suddenly spawned everywhere about the sins of the bronies and how they ruin childhoods with their depraved artworks? Ooh. How they're the most horrible and repulsive fandom in existence and whatnot. I mean, yeah, some things they made are downright horrible, and you're not advised to browse Dopey Poo without at least 5 filters on.
True, but that's just part of the internet. I mean, really, people, grow the fuck up. The only thing bronies really did was being the ones that made autistic, toxic cartoon fandoms mainstream. But compared to some others, they really aren't that bad. Looking at you, Loud House Bible. Okay, preaching's over, back to sketch. Pinky, you're up.
Huh? Okay. Could you start me off again, Rainbow?
Oh, sure. Yada yada yada, unwashed freaks with stupid regrets.
Oh, yeah. Now, that's not very nice. I'm sure you're just exaggerating.
Not really. I mean, you would think that your fans would come to you to admire your work or talk about the show and maybe get an autograph. Sure, some did, but most fans just came up to me and wanted me to say some random lines from the show. Or they would just talk about their own fanfics. The line thing was annoying enough, but having to sit there and listen to an endless stream of all the same 3 fanfic plots was nigh on torture. It's impressive, actually, that hundreds of ponies were able to come up with the exact same bare-bones plots for their stories while never having met each other once, and then acting like they're the greatest writers in history. I was glad for every fanfic that didn't force some totally unrelated ship. Which there weren't that many of.
What was that about attacking the bronies? And I, for one, find that writer take to be pretty ironic because if you think about it, the sketch series isn't anything more than Robotus's fanfic, is it?
What? No. No. There's a massive difference, Pinky.
Which?
Well, it's not fanfiction.
Well, actually, it does check off all the boxes. Take our personalities, for example. We're not at all like our show characters, and the way the rest of you act, normally you would never do or say most of the things you have. Also, especially at the start of it, the sketches were unnecessarily vulgar and brutal. It was like a child that for the first time in their life was allowed to do whatever they wanted.
Hey, now, before you say anything about out of character, we've established early on that the way we whirl in friendship is magic wasn't real. Those were just roles we were playing. These are our actual personalities.
Because that excuse has never been used before to justify retcons.
Whatever. And that other thing about the early sketches. Well, that's true, I can't deny that. But luckily, like any writer who's in the business for a while, he grew out of that phase.
Did he now?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive he did. Think about it, when's the last time one of us threatened to do something ridiculously brutal to some pony else? Or started throwing around cuss words like it's past 10 p.m.?
Well, we do still swear quite a lot. I would bet money on it that there was at least 2 F-bombs in this sketch alone.
Sure, but there's a difference between throwing in a sentence enhancer and there and cursing like Sailor Mouse.
In general, with all the things we say about him, Robotus is still pretty tame when it comes to bad words. I mean, the worst slur he's ever said in this show was faggot, and that was just one time. Well, 2 times now.
I appreciate that you had to drop it again instead of, just maybe implying it.
Nah, he had Robotas, we don't half-ass things. Another thing on that fanfic topic is that Robotas, like any fanfic author, doesn't respect the source material at all.
No, that's simply untrue. He doesn't respect the show. The lore, however, he goes out of his way to make sure anything he touches on in this series is in accordance with the wiki. He even makes some nice additions to it, like, for most prominent example, the whereabouts of human sons at Shimmer. I stand by that this is the best version I've ever heard of a story. That's the hill I'll die on, and when I do, I'll die a hero.
Well, that one's also the only version of Human Sons at Shimmer you've ever known.
That's secondary. How about we get back to Rainbow's story?
If I'm allowed to finish it this time? Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, but the worst thing that happened to me at that convention was when I met some mayor whose name I didn't even catch. After the usual, "Oh, you're so awesome," and "Can you say 20% cool?" things suddenly turned sour. She then asked me how you were doing, Rarity. And if by now I had any plans to marry you. Since you're my mayor friend.
No. You did tell her that was bullshit, didn't you?
Well, yeah. But it's not like that made a difference. She wouldn't accept it when I told her that I don't even particularly like Rarity. She's like my least favorite friend.
Hey. You didn't have to be that honest. Bitch.
Anyway, she was convinced I was just trying to test her. The usual, "Oh, this is just a trick to weed out the unworthy ones" shit. She got more and more upset and claimed that she knew me better than I myself did. But then I made the mistake of catching her off guard by asking her what my favorite color is then. It's green, by the way.
Really? The wiki says it's blue.
Yeah, but blue's too easy. Anyway, I should not have done that because when I exposed her like that, she started screaming like a banshee and threw herself onto me, started to beat the absolute shit out of me. Luckily, there was some security guy nearby who got her off me. Don't get me wrong, I could have kicked her face in myself, but I didn't want to risk that situation getting turned around against me. You know what I mean, a photo of the wrong moment and suddenly I'm the one attacking an innocent fan. I could do without the drama, so instead I took the bruises. After that day, and when I got home from hospital, I said to myself, never again. I don't care how much they're paying and how much security's there. I got lucky she didn't have rabies or some shit. Anyway, after all those adventures in job searching...
What? All we did this skit was talk about bronies and shit. Was this meant to be about a job for you? Wait, wasn't Spike here at the beginning? How long is this episode?
I met her with AJ to hang out a little. But she didn't even have time for me because she's got so much fucking work to do on her farm, it's not even funny. And that's when it hit me. That was it. So simple, yet so genius. Long story short, AJ hired me as a farmhand.
Yeah, since all my other relatives are either dead or fucking useless like Apple Bloom, and Star's gone again, I really can use the help. And unlike a show character, Dashier's actually a pretty decent worker. That is when she feels like it.
Plus it sparks the shipping flames, which in turn increases the sales of Apple Dash merch.
The what?
Oh yeah, haven't you heard? 2 or 3 years ago for Pride Month, Hasbro released a collection of Apple Dash merchandise.
The fuck? I never agreed to that.
Neither did I, but it's all good, AJ. I sued the company in both our names, and they offered me a sizable sum if we drop the charges.
Nice. How much?
Enough to get by for some time.
Cool, so I guess that solves the financial problems. Y'all still gonna work at my farm, are ya?
Sure.
Thanks.
What are shits for?